How you doing? Otherwise, like, we just shot the shit. I mean, as you say, we shot the shit a little bit, but you seem to be in a good spirit, man. I'm like,
Thank you.
it just makes me really, I'm really happy you agreed to do this interview and just to talk with me a bit on camera. It means,
Oh, it's a pleasure.
yeah, man.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, like, how are you actually dealing with isolation? That's the first question on the list, but how are you dealing with it? What you doing?
Well, I mean, there is a good and bad sides that I'm noticing since it's been like around 3 weeks now. And I finally got a chance to read all the books I wanted to read and watch the movies I wanted to see. And this is, of course, great part of it. Having doing sport 3 to 5 times a week, it's also great, you know, being able to meditate, being able to see my students online and teach them 2 days a week also
Right.
helps me have, you know, like live tempo frame. I'm not practicing or playing much, and that's good. I'm not feeling it, and that's also good. I'm just, you know, like doing some other things in my life due to the situation, and I'm not frustrated about it. So this is definitely a good side of the whole story, I think. And that's what bothers me, though, on the other side, is a new feeling of certain uneasiness in my body. Like it will be similar to something that we might feel when we, you know, like have stress in life, have a little anxieties, little doubts and stuff. And I think since I never experienced this feeling before, it might be some kind of claustrophobic feeling.
Huh. Interesting.
You know, just not having any kind of control over what's going to happen, how long this situation is going to last, and all of this provides this certain unease in my body. And I see it as a great chance to try to understand and deal with it. So since it's new, you know, and it's directly caused by this situation, I'm sure it's coming from this feeling of it's not even like, you know, being closed in one space in one room. We can still go out to the street and get our groceries, which is 50 minutes walk, and you know, we can do these things. I mean, of course, keep it home, but still not completely home. Like back in Serbia, where I'm born, there is an emergency state that is starting at 1 o'clock today, and it's going to end on Monday. So people are going to be literally stuck in their homes for a very, very long time without being able to go out at all.
Oh man.
So, you know, we still don't have that kind of thing, but definitely in long terms, in thinking of how long this is going to last, weeks or months, and this kind of state of mind can definitely provide this kind of feelings.
I hear you, man. I think it's, yeah, I'm seeing the same thing, to be honest with you too. Like, it's, yeah, there's a certain unease to it all. I've kind of I don't know. I feel like at this point I'm trying to not let myself feel that. And I think it just comes from, like, instead of, you know, sitting around and being still so much, like you talked about reading books, that's something I still haven't done. Like, I got the book, you know, I have, as we all do, we have that list of things we want to do. And that list is still long too. But, you know, one thing, I'm going to work out. Like,
yeah.
You know, yeah. And I mean, and it's easy for me just to talk to my wife rather than actually like sit still and be calm. But you bring up a great point about that. I think it's, you know, worth noting. But I want to move, I think, a little bit further. We can come back to that. But I want to ask you real quick. You got this music playing in the background, man. Tell me what this is.
Yes. Oh, it's a new album of mine that I recorded and published at the end of February this year. What a great timing, right? We did only vinyls records, and they're published for independent Berlin label, ShoeBill Music. And yeah, I have a bunch of them lying around the house. Yeah, I thought it would be a nice idea maybe to play it in the background while we talk about life, private, but also professional things in lives. Yeah.
Of course, man. I think, yeah, I know I still have not heard it. I still have not bought it, to be honest with you. I need to buy it.
No, you don't have to buy it. I would be happy to give it to you. And if you listen to it, I would be more than happy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
No.
To do that.
I mean, yeah, but you know, thank you. I would, but yeah, I mean,
No worries.
commend you also, man. You're able to listen to yourself at home on some level. Like for me, when I listen to myself on any level, like my speaking, okay, that's you know that's forgivable. But like the playing, I'm just like
Yeah, to be totally honest with you, I mean, this is something that you produce, and you have to listen to it. You know, like, want it or not, this is the work we need to go in producing an album. And from what I realize, you're also about to record your own album with your own music, so I'm sure you're going to go through the thing. And I think for me, this is the fun part.
Mhm.
What I also have really difficult times is listening to my live concerts.
Okay, yeah,
So it's like live concerts are hard, especially when it comes to my music. Then I really need to let it, sit for a while, and then really when I'm ready to listen to it for more than 5 seconds, then I feel like I'm ready to listen the whole thing through. But it's weird. It's personal, and it's just yeah, that feeling that's just like a little bit ouch.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Live music,
Um,
yeah, it's something. I guess it's a luxury now too. I mean, that's what we're seeing around the world. This stuff, live music. I mean, when it starts up again, I guess yeah. I have the feeling it's just going to be like I've talked to a few other people about this, but it's just going to be a crazy. People are just going to want to go check stuff out again. What are your
uh, uh, Sorry, the connection was bad. What was the question?
No, no, yeah. So like once live music starts up again,
Yep.
I have this feeling people are just going to flock to. They're just going to go to concerts. People are
Mm.
just going to be packed.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
That
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, like, from that perspective, and if we chat casually, and daydream about how life can be like if it was like it used to be. You know what I mean? Like, if we would be certain the politics would be the same after this pandemic, then we can say, oh yeah, everyone's going to go out and everyone's going to get wild and crazy and party and checking out the concerts and all of this. And I might even find a girlfriend again, fell in love.
oh man.
Joke on the side, but you know what I mean? Like, uh, we really don't know.
Hmm.
And I don't want to talk that or think like negative things about this, but I'm really curious to see how the thing's gonna continue moving forward after all these pandemics, and if the thing's gonna be the same as they were before. As for my personal opinions, of course, it's good to know that we might be going to concerts and doing fun things, but I'm not sure if I want things to be continuing the way that they were until the pandemic happened.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I just, I like, I don't think that I was really comfortable with many things about the way that I live my life,
Huh.
in
Yeah.
terms of having no time, working all the time, like running after recognition, running after gigs, running after jobs, running after this, running after that, just like
Hmm.
all the things that I really enjoy in my life kind of came to the minimum and all adjusted just to make this career happen. And um, it feels like it's like I was really failing in making time for myself and the things that I really care in for life. Of course, music is one of the things. And
Yeah.
if there was no music, I would not be here and exist in this world for sure. This is clear so far, considering the shit that I went through. But it's not the only thing in my life, and I can really like see it now when I have the other small minor things that I couldn't do and afford myself, before. So that being said, this situation just feels like a restart, and like little time to rethink. And I think it's not easy for anyone, but with a little bit of discipline and emotional and body hygiene,
Hmm.
we can definitely bring ourselves to the positive state of mind and optimal thinking and have good juices running towards the body. It's extremely hard, and I think that it's also difficult for the people who have someone who suffers directly because of this pandemic. And privately, there is some issues in my family and some situations that I'm also handling daily basis.
Right.
And this is not easy being away to 2,000 kilometers from home. And also, like, I'm not even able to go there. I don't have Serbian papers anymore. I'm German, and even if I wanted to go and help, I couldn't. So
Right.
this is a little weight. It's a little like toothache that it's every day there, and I have to process and deal with. So there is certain package to this situation as well. Nevertheless, with enough of conscience, activity, and routine in how you're going to organize your daily life, I think that this situation definitely can be overcome.
Yeah.
And took into your own advantage. And then not to be too pessimistic on the other side, we still really, really don't know what's happening with big issues that are not, disappearing with this current pandemic situations.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, some kind of a new system would be amazing, and I would be happy to give away my life in order, to this current thing, in order to like be a part of something that is going to help in global in general. I mean, this definitely sounds like communism or socialism or something like this, or some kind of it, but I don't know. I'm not expert in these issues, and I'm just waiting to see how the thing's going to unfold after this point.
Man, I hear you. Man, that was a lot, and I'm so grateful you shared all of that. One thing that's come up, I guess, in all the interviews I've given so far is this, or I've actually brought up, but I think you bring it up yourself, is just this idea that, I don't know, I feel like with all the work canceled, or rather as musicians, we associate our ego with our activity level and our schedules. So, for instance, when when I have tons of gigs and when I'm doing tons of work and when, money's just hitting my bank account like no one's business, I'm like, I'm the man. But, the minute that stops, it's like, who am I? And what does that question come out? And what I'm seeing with everybody around the world is right now, everyone's having to find out new ways and be creative to find new ways to not just generate income, but to, kind of find their self-worth again. And, it can't come from this place of necessarily from looking at your bank account necessarily as much as it has to from, I think, this sense of understanding who you are as a person. And kind of that question of who are you when all the gigs are gone? Who are you when you don't have all this stuff is the question I've kind of brought up, but I think you hit it nail on the head. Yeah, or the hammer on the nail on the head, whatever, you get it. But yeah, I guess, yeah, I want to ask, if anything, because you talked about like a lot of stuff, and a lot of the questions I wrote down, you pretty much answered them.
Okay.
I now, like, what are you doing, if anything, to prepare for this thing? Great trumpet sound.
Thank you. Yeah, I had this trumpet from Holland. Prepara is the company. Maybe you heard of them. Prepara.
Never, but they make some great trumpets in Holland.
Yeah, man, like this trumpet like had the biggest bell there is. Like it was a little alto trombone bell. It was wonderful, golden plated and like big tubes, So for players who like to play like this classical, nice big sound, warm up and stuff, this trumpet was like resonating, taking it all and sounding great. And then if you will try to play jazz and like be like flexible in registers, I swear I never experienced this. This trumpet could play anything. It was just like all around the place. It was ridiculous. The only thing, what was the problem with this trumpet? You really couldn't play anything else than what you just play I think solo repertoire. I played some contemporary music and pieces on it. I recorded it as well, and that was really nice because it's so easy with a good sound. But as long as you would like, I tried to sit in classical orchestra with this trumpet. I try to play like Hindemith chamber music or like Stravinsky chamber music, and these things just won't mix so well.
Hmm.
So it was like very specific in the sound that it could provide.
Hmm.
Besides the amazing technical possibilities, like it's
So
just like playing perfectly, but you just couldn't use it in every musical situation, you know. And I mean, I play in classical orchestras, I play new music, you know. Sometimes I play like in jazz band, sometimes I play my quartet. It's different kind of stuff. So you know, for these kind of things, you really need like either different instruments and or you can play one instrument. This trumpet was not that instrument. To be honest with you, though, there is the trumpet that I bought a couple of years ago from a good friend of mine. And to be honest with you, I hope he will not watch this interview because he didn't know this. But this trumpet is from this Bach trumpet, B flat trumpet,
okay.
from 1950 until 1954.
Oh wow.
Lightweight. Those series Bach trumpets, many people would agree, are the best series, you know, Bach ever made. This trumpet doesn't have such a ease through the registers, you know what I mean? Like the Hupanlar had, but nevertheless, you can really change all these colors. Like really now with this trumpet, I can play, you know, everything. And this feels great. So, you know, sacrificing a little bit like the technical possibilities to get all the spectrum of sounds you need for different kind of music that you play, I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good deal. So I'm happy that I found that one.
That's awesome. No, I mean, I hear, yeah, I just noticed the trumpet sound like right as I asked the last question popped out, but I'm glad you just like get into the whole thing and everything. I think some,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can't change how you, I mean, I think it's just good to say these things sometimes and because every musician has their own opinion on this stuff. And I think it's good to
Yeah.
get it out, you know, but it is totally like that with new instruments and with anything or with any instrument you play, you know, it's totally the player, it's totally the connection, you know, and yeah, you know, it just is what it is. But moving on, I want to move into more like preparatory, like I asked this question too. What are you doing now, if anything, to prepare for the idea of just, I guess, yeah, are you doing anything right now to prepare for this, you know, for a longer stay or for anything like that? Like I mentioned, I know we talked on the phone, you mentioned you were taking some vacation time and this sort of thing. And just also you mentioned it too, just really out enjoying your time off, but you mentioned you were going to the woods and doing some other stuff. Maybe talk a bit about that or talk a bit also
Yeah, sure.
doing
Yeah, a friend of mine.
other things and
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean, you know, basically, I think that like what concerns daily life organization, I found my pattern and I'm happy with it. And I think I'm gonna develop another one or even two more patterns and just combine them. It's just the same thing like warming up your lips for me, you know, like find a couple of things, make some programs, and you know every time day you wake up you can like check what you feel like warming up and then
yeah,
choose that program. And it will be the same with daily routines, you know, like you know, wake up, see what you feel, how your body reacts, what they do, and then go with it. And that's also interesting process. And I think a couple of months is not even enough time. So however this gonna last, however long, whatever, I mean, there is things to do. On the other hand, yeah, a friend is living in the woods close to Dresden,
yeah,
German city Dresden, and it's part of Germany called Sächsische Schweiz. And Schweiz is of course Switzerland, and it's,
yeah,
I guess that's how it got the name. And in Sachsen, it's Switzerland, so it's beautiful. And he invited me to go and visit him, so I think I'm gonna just get there and stay there for a while. Unfortunately, it's not possible to play in the woods because it's some kind of protected, you know, Germany has all these crazy laws about protection, this and that, and
right,
it's
right, right.
like nature shoots, and I am not really able to play outside, but I can play inside and then do sport outside and just be in the woods. I mean, I haven't done it. To be honest with you, I don't remember when I took vacation last time. And
Okay.
I was traveling here and there, you know, I was playing around, also China and all this, like in the last few months, but never like, you know, just go do something with your friend or on your own. Doesn't have anything to do with work and stuff like this. I don't know when I did it last time, which is kind of sad. So, so I'm
Beautiful.
very looking forward to do this little trip. And I called ADAC,
Okay.
If you know them, you know, they're like German company to like help people with the cars if they have any accidents or anything. And I'm a member there.
Yeah.
So I kept call just to make sure that this is legal, you know, what you do, what I'm planning to do. And they say it's no problem. If you want to get from point A to point B in Germany with your car, it's fine. Just don't, you know, stop around, stay around, just keep everyone safe from you and keep yourself safe from other people. So get there and that's fine. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that next week.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'll share this with you. I share this with a few other people too, but I think you dig it. So here, I bought all this stuff, man. Got lentils,
Okay.
and then also I got over here like tons of rice, like 10 kilo, like 2 10 kilo bags, and like a 5 kilo bag there. And then I have the turmeric sandwich with black pepper, and curcuma or turmeric. I can't remember which one it is in German. I think it's curcuma or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Anyway, rosemary, cinnamon, Zimt.
Oh,
I have some sea salt there, Meersalz, and then I have also just tons of yeah, Alpro yogurt, not the yogurt, but the soy milk just back there. And then also on top of that, I'll decrease it and show you this too. I bought a lot of Haferflocken.
oh, wonderful, man.
Just all the
Perfect.
kilos. Like we'll never, like I'm proud of this a little bit, you know, that I did this.
Man,
But
that's a good food right there. It's a good food you have.
yeah, but I think
Definitely.
I think it's just the kind of thing to just be like, you know, you stay home or like whatever you do, just make sure that, you know, if you need to, you're sick, you're taken care of and move on.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good food you have there. All good stuff. All good stuff.
But yeah, I guess one thing I haven't asked you as much about, you talked a bit about your album, but I know we actually met because Hanna Zeba, his orchestra, because I
Yes, 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 yes.
subbed a few times with him, and yeah, I subbed
Yeah.
times with him. But I guess I'm curious, can you, man, plug your other musical projects real quick? Just some other stuff you're doing, because I think it's good for the interview and it puts stuff out there.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe from the top of my head, I was involved in a really nice production with a company, Novaflot, which hosts some of the really fine musicians I really have a big appreciation for, such as Hayden Chisholm, Claudio Putin, Nils Fogram, Connie Bauer, and stuff. And we were at this project. It was only two musicians, the trumpet and piano, and then there was also singers and or actors, and we did Fidelio from Beethoven.
Okay, wow.
We took the parts from the score. Some we would play solo, some we would sing as a quartet or soloist, and we made 1 hour piece from it. And it was also electronic involved and video artists, and we had many speakers all around the room, so we would have surround effect. And since the score and the piece was 1 hour long, each performance we would do 4 times each day.
Oh wow.
So it would be 4 hour long performance with people coming and going, like audience would be changing for each set, or some of them could stay for all sets if they would like. So yeah, we were working on this for 3 weeks very intensively, and this is the first time in my life actually that I did a premiere.
Mm-hmm.
And the same day we did derniere, which is like, I don't know in English, like premiere is beginning and derniere is the last show. So it's premiere and derniere maybe. So yeah, it was very intense and emotional evening, and we had private audience, like friends of the company and some journalists and things to like, you know, document on that event. And since then I haven't touched my trumpet basically, and this was almost 3 weeks ago. And I mean, yeah, of course, we did it at Academy of Art Berlin, and of course they're open, and we're gonna open for doing the shows as planned. So we're gonna do it at some later point in the year, or maybe even next year and stuff. So this was one of the things I was working on. The other things, I was supposed to go to Denmark and do a masterclass there at the Academy of Music with a couple of concerts of my music and also concerts of contemporary music with Kenneth Kamp Knudsen. Maybe you know him, the bass player from Denmark.
Yeah, yeah.
That was happening. Then I was invited also with a very good friend of mine and great composer Gabriel Santander to do a project in Madrid.
Hmm.
We got a very nice funding and a good spot in a festival for contemporary music in Madrid. So we would do pieces from Kagel on Baroque instruments. So
Hmm.
we would play contemporary music on the old instruments, and I was really excited about that one. Then we had some gigs lined up for Damir Out Loud, my quartet, for the album release.
Yeah.
And, actually, I made a little list. I made a little list for you in case that I forget something. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit unprepared now here. I
Great.
thought I saw that you asked in your list of the questions, like if I could just say a little bit about my projects and what's been canceled and what's been put on hold. So I did it. And yeah, oh yeah, I forgot this. Yeah, in April and May, I was supposed to play a piece Inferno with some people from Ensemble Modern in Frankfurt, in Opera House in Frankfurt. So that was canceled too. Then of course, my show in Volksbühne that we are doing each month. That too. My ensemble United Berlin, where I'm a member for the last 10 years. We have this residency program in Konzerthaus with Vladimir Jurovsky as artist director. That was canceled as well. It was supposed to be tomorrow, the concert. Yeah, then, do you know these guys from Magnetic Orchestra? Magnetic Ghost Orchestra and Moritz Sembrinsky. You
Okay.
play there? I'm sure you're gonna play with us sometimes. We just recorded a CD in December, and we were supposed to go on tour in May, but I don't think that it's happening.
Okay.
And should I keep going? There is.
You can, man, you're good. I think,
Yeah, I think there is. Oh, it's only April and May. It's
I just,
much more in June, but whatever.
I just wanted to ask you because, you talked so much about so many other topics that I thought, just ask you what you were doing musically before, because I think,
Yeah. But like there's no kids around here running. That's for sure. It's just 24/7 music, and I'm really blessed to be able to run this kind of life because there was nothing else. Like I see my students make like, hey, especially the young ones. Like I teach at the university in Potsdam, and
Mhm.
there's a couple of students and like older guy. I mean, not older, but like almost grown ups, but. And they're fine, but like these kids, like that I also teach in the other music school where I have a steady job.
Mhm.
They're like, I don't know, man. Like they have so much stuff to do in their life. And at first they sit in school from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. It's ridiculous. It's insane. Like I would kill okay. Okay. I mean, it's like so much to do. And then, they have like foreign language course, they have sport course, they have trumpet course, they have like, I don't even know what they have. Plus all the informations that you can find online. It's like everything is so much in life. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. It's like, how do you find yourself? Like, how do you say, I'm going to play a trombone? How do you say, this is my passion? It's like, I would feel so endangered for being overwhelmed with informations, with tasks, with scheduling. It's crazy. I mean, for me, it is like this because I come from completely different background and completely different life situation.
Right.
So when I see them, I'm just like, if I'm able to touch them, I would give them a hug, but I'm teacher, so I'm just. Yeah. Anyways, like, yeah, for me, it was pretty much easy, like I figured out this thing, like I heard Miles Davis, so what? Like, I was like, okay, hey, 2 notes, I can handle 2 notes at a time, I think, so I started playing trumpet and I was like almost 60 years old. Oh, wait, we can do it together, right? Wait. Let me give you a little head start. Are you there? You hear me this?
Yeah, I hear you. Finally got the ha out, man.
It's all no problem. So like, I mean, I fell in love with all about the trumpet. And then, when we had 3 months of NATO bombing Serbia, like I was 18 years old. and the tomahawks were fucking flying around, you know, and they were exploding around, and it's all documented, it's online.
Well,
and they
I want to just interrupt you there because we're getting like, man, I know.
I'll come back. Listen, this is all in context of the music.
But I mean, it isn't just the context of the music and everything, but I think, you know, we were way over 20 minutes of interview time. And
it's 20 minutes. Oh, sorry about this. I never checked with you how long the interviews are. Oh, sorry about this.
I haven't posted any yet, so don't even worry about it. I just, you know,
okay.
Okay. I want to, yeah, my goal, I should just say it on the record too, is to just record as many as possible and just keep recording them. But I wanted to get at least 5 to 10.
Look, it's cool. If you're happy with this one, and I had a fun time, and I actually just feel like I started going, but no problem.
That's what I want.
20 minutes is fine.
I want each person I interview to just feel like they're at home, because that's really where we are right now. We're all at home.
Exactly.
Like that's totally the vibe I want, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just end by saying this, man. I have the utmost respect for your musicianship and your trumpet playing.
Thank you so much for saying that.
And yeah,
likewise.
And it became, like, I'm just so glad that, you know, we became fast friends, and it's, you know, it's been nothing but just, man, grateful for your contribution, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure. And also lovely to know you and your lovely wife.
Yeah.
And I wish you guys all the best. And anytime you need to talk or anything, just let me know. I'm around.
Definitely. I'm going to end it.